guys, fire our shit!
Well, howdy folks, and welcome back to your home port. In the premium shop right now is the Tier 6 German destroyer T-61, a ship kindly provided to me by Wargaming so I can bring you this review. The ship compares really well, I think, with other Tier 6 destroyers, being a capable gunboat, but also doesn't have significant fail stats in other areas. Looking a little bit at the history of this ship, they were developed 1940, actually built in the Netherlands, of Dutch designs and from components that were on hand, and T-61 itself was laid down in 1942 and launched in June of 1944. None of these ships ever saw combat, though, T-61 itself actually being torpedoed while under tow back to Germany to be fitted out. T-61 is a sturdy boat with above average hit points of 14,700 versus other Tier 6 destroyers currently in game, having anywhere from 8 to 16 millimeters of armor. And looking at T-61's artillery, it looks fantastic on paper, with much higher than average DPM on her AP shells than that of her Tier 6 compadres. This due to her quick rate of fire and highest AP damage in tier. The balancing factor that comes into play here is that her AP penetration numbers are not fantastic. 80 millimeters at 5 kilometers and 41 millimeters at 10 kilometers, such that you must get very close to people if you even hope to citadel anyone, let alone pen them for damage. But if you aim for soft parts, battleships like superstructure areas, or the sides of light cruisers and DDs, you probably won't overpen all that much and you'll rack up some nice damage figures there. HE shells do less than tier average damage, a few hundred hit points less in fact per shell, but even so, her quick rate of fire brings her total potential DPM just slightly below average overall. Your chance to set a fire is 6% unless your commander has IFHE skill, then it drops to 5. With a higher penetration value of just under 27 millimeters using IFHE versus just under 21 millimeters without it, your chance to set a fire drops as fires only burn on the outside of ships, not on the inside in this game. T-61's torpedoes are also a bright spot, having higher than average range and speed for their Tier 6 destroyers and significantly better reload speed than any of her tier mates. All of this awesome is tempered somewhat by an ever so slightly larger detectability range and also somewhat lower damage than the tier average at only 13,700 hit points compared to approximately 15,100. That's it for her offensive capabilities. Let's look in the defense a little bit. Her AA defenses are not fantastic, but they aren't too nasty either. Again, comparing favorably with her tier mates overall, they won't deter a CV player from coming after you, but the closer they get, the more expensive it'll be for them. T-61's mobility is very average, I think, and in line with her tier mates, having an okay top speed of 35 knots, nothing groovy, but it's alright, and a decent turning circle of 600 meters, and slightly longer than average rudder shift time of 3.6 seconds. Now, T-61 is a fairly good-sized destroyer, and while not the most stealthy ship, she compares better than the tier averages in all categories. Not a lot better, mind, but still better. Using a commander with a concealment expert skill, I was able to get the detectability range by sea down to 6.1 kilometers, and by air, 3.4, and after firing main guns and smoke, just 2.6 kilometers. Consumables and upgrades, T-61 comes with an effective mix of consumables, including repair party, smoke generator, speed boost, and hydroacoustic search. Notice that's 4 consumables, whereas most tier mates, they only have 3. Repair party specs are standard. Speed boost is very comparable to tier mates. Hydroacoustic search is a real bonus in my opinion, with its 2.82 kilometer torpedo detection range and 3.98 kilometer ship detection range, 92 seconds of action, and 180 second reload. For upgrades, I recommend Magazine Modification 1, as while detonations don't happen nearly as often as they used to, they still do. Otherwise, I would consider Main Armaments Modification 1, which toughens up your offensive weapons so they won't be knocked out as easily and will repair more quickly should they get knocked out. My second upgrade would be Damage Control System Modification 1 to reduce the risk of fire and flooding. Third, I would choose Aiming Systems Modification 1 as the best choice of a bad lot here, really only helping you out with your torpedo tube traverse speed by 20%, which definitely puts you above average in your tier there. Since you're well below the average 180 degree rotation time, the main battery modification, it wouldn't bring enough benefit while it gets busy increasing your reload time by 5%. Finally, I would choose Propulsion Modification 2 to give you a little more jump out of the hole, which will come in handy dodging torpedoes while you're in your smoke screen. With no glaring deficiencies in any category, T-61 is a good all-purpose destroyer, a workhorse type boat. It provides a solid platform for a thinking commander to excel with and good enough for the rest of us to have solid matches in as well. The guns are decent overall, but are lacking penetration, so you need to aim your AP for soft parts when fighting heavily armored components. This lack of penetration also reduces the need to fire HE, and as you won't overpen often, even firing firing at destroyers and light cruisers, so unless you really want to start a fire, which incidentally you have a higher chance of starting a fire if your commander doesn't have IFAG skill, you might as well stick to firing AP most of the time and maximize your DPM. Well folks, there you have it. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below. If you really enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments. As well, be sure to visit my social media pages, both on Facebook and Twitter. This is where I post info that, well, not belonging in a video, it's worth taking a look at. Now, a lot of you have been very generous with donations, becoming patrons, or donating during the live streams, or sending in your replays so I can commentate and put them up for others to enjoy. But it's also very helpful just watching the vids, liking and subscribing. So I just wanted to make sure that those of you who support in that manner know that I really appreciate what you're doing as well. Thank you. Links to all things in the video description. Alright folks, thanks very much for stopping by and watching. I'll catch you next time.